Okay, that's nice and dry. So again, we're going into our lighter paint and pulling out some stronger pigment. I'm going to run the brush sideways on so we get some hit and miss streaks, but also notice by running the brush down the line of the mountain, it also helps to create that essential shape. If I just painted in any sort of crisscross, any old direction, just filling it in, you wouldn't get the same sense of the shape of the mountain. And this time I think I'll just miss out some of where the mountain joins. Right, now I've got to be a little bit careful here that I don't go into the lake till I'm ready. So I'll just paint a straight line. I'm actually running my hand along the paper like that and just letting the brush touch the paper to get that straight line. Right, now this outcrop is in quite a lot of shadow because the sun is shining from the top left direction. So this area will be in sunlight, as with these mountains. This one will be much darker because, like this side of this outcrop, this will also be in shadow. Now we'll do this one quite a bit darker on this side so it stands out against this middle distant mountain side, but as we go to here we'll lighten it off so that it's not as dark as this mountain coming down here, but it'll still be darker than that. See, I'm leaving that a little bit, it's nearly drying off, so if that happens and you start to get a tire mark, just have a little dab at it with the brush. This is called dropping in, when you're just touching the brush to damp paper and the paint's running off the brush and onto the paper. So it gives us a stronger colour on this side but lightens off on this side, which is what we need. And I'm really going to try and make use as I do this mountainside of the hit and miss effect of the rough paper and using the belly of the brush so we get some light patches as well as dark areas. You've obviously got to make sure you get the outline of the mountain. There's got to be enough paint to do that, obviously. But then if we start scraping sideways nice and lightly, you can see that we get exactly the hit and miss effect that we want. Have that just a little bit stronger there, just to make sure that we have that definition between the two. Yeah, that's fine. And whilst I'm doing that, whilst it's still damp, I'm putting that stronger paint in underneath those light areas so that they still will spread a little bit, but gives that impression of the light and shade and reflected light that you will always get on rocky mountains. Right, now we're going to create the waves on the lake with the nice sunlit sparkles using the rough texture of the paper. What we're going to do is create a nice mid-blue mix using the strong blue and mixing it with that very, very pale blue. We're just going to get a nice brush full of paint, and that will last us quite a long time. All we're going to do is scrape the side of the brush along and lift off as you get to the centre of the lake, like this. Along and lift. Along and lift. Just like that. Along and lift. Along and lift. You see how it's hitting and missing? Do it again. And then just a couple more times. Okay, we'll recharge the brush, but before we do, I'm just going to drag that edge right at the top just to make a straight edge near the top of the lake. Now we'll come in at the other side, but I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch just below that edge of that lake to give a nice bright streak just there. Okay, along and lift. Same again. Whoops, we've gone upwards slightly. We'll fix that in a minute, don't worry about that. Just straighten that top edge again, just to give a nice neat top edge to the waves. There we go, just like that. Now what we're going to do is put another layer in here so that we can create the undulations of the waves and the lake and give a little bit more texture to it. It's only the same mix, just going in while it's still reasonably damp. Here we go again. This time using a little bit more the tip of the brush rather than the belly. But there's still the same technique, along and lift off as you get to the centre of the lake. And what we'll do is we're coming across this time, we'll fix that little stretch just there that's gone a bit astray in the first pass. There we are, soon fixed, isn't it? It's quite captivating, this. You can overdo it like a lot of things in watercolour. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. And there we go, the sunlit lake. Right, now we've done the waves on the lake, and I've started lightening off this area here to give a sunny effect on the back of this rock outcrop. And all that I've been doing is taking some clean water, well, clean as it is, taking the bulk of it out on the paper towel, and then just running lightly on the back of the rock outcrop, and then blotting out. And there's quite a subtle but quite an effective and appreciable light area now on the back of that rock outcrop. Now, I did say that I wanted to put a yacht in this area here, and I was going to take some paint out to create the yacht. Well, this is how we do it. All I've got here is an offcut of scrap watercolour paper, and I've cut out with a craft knife the shape of a sail. Right, all I'm doing is putting this in the area that I want to take out the paint. This is effectively a mask that you're creating, and what we're going to do is, again, to dampen the brush, take most of the water out, because when we put this mask down, I don't want any water flooding underneath and ruining the picture. It's just damp enough just to agitate the paint that's been put on. A small bristle oil paint brush can often be more effective because it's more capable of agitating the paint and lifting it out. So if we take that out of the way, there you can see we've taken the sail. I just need the brush head of the rigger to create a nice mast and no more than a line for the base of the hull of the boat. And as you can see, I've also used the rigger to put in the hint of what is, I don't know, a little church or possibly even a small castle on top of the rocky outcrop. So there we are, Lake Garda in monochrome. We've used one colour, and we've used, for the most part anyway, one brush. And I do hope you have a go at this, because it'll prove to you, I think, more than anything else, that watercolour is actually easier than you think if you're shown the right way to go about it.